Tension exploded behind bars as reports surfaced that Big U was confronted by an affiliate of Nipsey Hussle while visiting a correctional facility. Sources claim the confrontation was direct, emotional, and dangerous, fueled by years of street rumors linking Big U to Nipsey's tragic death. The affiliate allegedly called him out face to face, saying, "You can't hide behind no politics now." Word spread fast through the prison system, and now Big U's name is echoing across locked corridors. The streets may have stayed quiet, but inside, the pressure's boiling. And for Big U, the past is catching up fast. No cameras, no protection. Big U was allegedly jumped in jail, reportedly by someone tied to Nipsey Hussle. For years, speculation linked Big U to Nipsey's murder, and now it seems street justice may have reached him behind bars. But that's not all. Loose Cannon and Brick Baby are also rumored to be involved in a recent altercation. Multiple sources claim Big U, Loose Cannon, and Brick Baby were involved in a full-blown jail yard brawl that forced a facility-wide lockdown. This wasn't minor, it escalated fast. Eugene Big U Henley is a well-known figure in Los Angeles. Once a leader of the Rollins 60s neighborhood Crips, he later became a music manager, working with Nipsey Hussle early in his career. In March 2025, Big U was indicted on 43 federal counts, including racketeering, extortion, and fraud. Authorities allege he ran a mafia-style operation, using his nonprofit Developing Options as a front. Tremaine Loose Cannon Williams, a South Central music producer, worked closely with Nipsey and produced tracks like Bringing California Back before Nipsey's 2019 murder. Loose Cannon made the move from producer to rapper and was arrested alongside Big U in the March 2025 federal RICO case. Meanwhile, Zaire Brick Baby Mitchell, rapper and No Jumper podcast host, also affiliated with the Rollins 60s, grew up in Nipsey Hussle's Crenshaw and Slauson neighborhood. He's connected to artists like Kid Ink and Casey Veggies. Unlike the others, Brick Baby was jailed for firearm possession as a felon, not under RICO, but he's behind bars with them. When reports of the jail yard altercation emerged, many assumed the clash involved infighting among the three. However, according to a detailed YouTube breakdown, that wasn't the case. The fight was reportedly them against us. Loose Cannon, Brick Baby, and Big U stood together against a rival group, setting aside their individual conflicts. This unity is surprising, considering prior tension, especially between Loose Cannon and Big U. In early 2024, Loose Cannon made explosive claims during a No Jumper interview hosted by Adam22 and Whack 100. He alleged Big U called him, claiming Nipsey Hussle had been killed before the murder had even occurred. According to Loose Cannon, after Big U allegedly called him about Nipsey's death, he reached out to Nipsey directly, who was still alive at that time. Just 30 minutes later, the news of Nipsey's murder broke. Cannon later stated that if Big U had warned him properly, he might have had the chance to prevent it. This led him to suggest that Big U had prior knowledge of the attack, implying a deeper level of complicity. Cannon also pointed to long-standing tension between Big U and Nipsey Hussle, referencing an alleged physical confrontation that ended with Nipsey's brother, Black Sam, being arrested for discharging a firearm. Cannon claimed this stemmed from a diss track Nipsey made about Big U, marking a clear breakdown in their relationship. Big U pushed back hard. In March 2024, he sent a cease and desist to No Jumper, firmly denying the claims and demanding they stop spreading the story. Further complicating matters, Cannon's twin brother Jermaine appeared on the Streets and Scholars podcast later that year, stating the call never happened and accusing his brother of fabricating multiple stories, including ones about his marriage and career, casting serious doubt on Cannon's reliability. Despite the heavy tension between Loose Cannon and Big U, when things escalated in the jail yard, both men, along with Brick Baby, stood united. According to reports, the fight wasn't just a quick altercation. It broke out in the courtyard and then continued even after the participants were sent to solitary confinement, known as the hole. The clash involved 7 inmates on the side of Big U, Loose Cannon, and Brick Baby, facing off against 9 rivals. This was far more than a brief scuffle. It turned into a serious physical brawl that led to a full facility lockdown, shutting down yard access for all inmates. What's especially surprising is the timing. Brick Baby and Loose Cannon were both scheduled for upcoming bail hearings. Getting into a violent altercation right before that seriously jeopardizes any chance of release. It plays right into a prosecutor's narrative that they lack control and could pose a threat to the public. Interestingly, some insiders suggest the injuries from the fight could be spun as evidence they were defending themselves, not instigating trouble. But as of now, no confirmed injuries have been reported. It's also important to note this brawl is separate from a previous conflict between Loose Cannon and Brick Baby. Reports claim that inside their unit, Loose Cannon confronted Brick Baby directly. This led to a temporary separation, with Brick Baby relocated to a nearby cell. However, they've reportedly resolved their issues and are now back on solid terms. This entire incident underscores the complex dynamics within federal detention, especially when high-profile gang figures are involved. Despite serious past allegations and internal tensions, Loose Cannon, Big U, and Brick Baby united when facing a common enemy. That decision reflects the enduring power of gang loyalty inside correctional institutions. The rivalry between the Rollin 60s Crips and the Bloods has lasted for decades, rooted in territorial disputes, control over drug operations, and long-standing issues of gang pride. This conflict has produced countless violent encounters, both on the streets and behind bars. Incarcerated gang members often rely heavily on their affiliations for safety and mutual defense. So it makes sense that Big U, as a former leader of the Rollin 60s, would stand shoulder to shoulder with fellow Crip-affiliated individuals like Loose Cannon and Brick Baby in a moment of crisis, even if past events left divisions between them. What makes this incident even more significant is the personal history between these figures, especially the public claims tying Big U to Nipsey Hussle's death. For them to put aside such serious differences speaks to the depth of gang codes in high-security environments and highlights how survival often outweighs internal disputes. The Bloods and Crips rivalry has long been a source of violent incidents within correctional facilities, especially in cities like Los Angeles. Notable cases, such as the 2015 prison fight involving Bobby Shmurda at Otis Bantam Correctional Center, show how these street-level conflicts continue behind bars. The recent prison yard altercation could carry serious consequences for everyone involved. Big U, already facing serious federal charges including murder and racketeering, might find this latest incident adding further complications to his legal troubles. For Brick Baby and Loose Cannon, both awaiting bail hearings, involvement in a violent confrontation could potentially damage their standing with the court, depending on how the situation is framed. But what's really driving this conflict runs deeper than just prison politics. It traces back to the streets of Crenshaw and the unresolved tensions surrounding Nipsey Hussle's death. Understanding the dynamics between Nipsey, Big U, and their former affiliates is crucial to understanding why this jail yard fight matters. Nipsey Hussle was tragically gunned down on March 31, 2019, outside his Marathon clothing store in South Los Angeles. Eric Holder Jr. was later convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to 60 years to life in February 2023. While the official trial framed the motive as a personal dispute, the streets have always suspected more was behind it. The official motive presented in court was that Eric Holder was upset after Nipsey allegedly mentioned rumors that Holder was a snitch, an accusation that carries serious weight in gang culture. Holder, also known as Shitty Cuz and Fly Mac, was a fellow member of the Rollin 60s neighborhood Crips, just like Nipsey. According to court testimony, Nipsey and Holder had a brief conversation in the parking lot outside the Marathon clothing store. While witnesses described the interaction as calm, Holder appeared deeply offended, the details of what happened next have been heavily debated. One of the key points Big U has repeatedly addressed is the timeline leading to the shooting. The popular belief is that Holder left the scene, changed clothes, and returned to commit a premeditated murder. But Big U offers a different version. According to him, Holder never actually left the area. Instead, he reportedly walked to nearby Master Burgers, where security footage captured him behaving erratically. Shirtless and visibly disturbed, he ate at the restaurant before walking back and carrying out the shooting. This contradicts the prosecution's premeditation narrative and raises a critical question. Was this a calculated hit or a spontaneous escalation of a personal dispute? Big U argues the presence of Holder's girlfriend, the food stop, and his behavior point to a spur-of-the-moment act, not a planned assassination. This is where loose cannon's explosive claims gain attention. In a January 2024 interview on the No Jumper podcast, Cannon alleged that Big U called him to say Nipsey had been killed before the shooting actually took place. Cannon said he then called Nipsey, who answered the phone. Roughly 30 minutes later, news broke confirming Nipsey's death. When asked why he didn't alert Nipsey about the strange call, Cannon explained that Nipsey and Big U had a turbulent relationship. They were friendly one day and distant the next. He didn't think much of it until the tragic news arrived. Cannon emphasized the timing. He hit me a little too early. He also recounted details of the shooting itself, claiming Eric Holder, referred to as Shitty, returned to the scene multiple times. First, he shot Nipsey. Then he walked away, only to return and shoot again. He left again, only to come back a third time and fire more rounds. Cannon also confirmed that Nipsey and Holder had a physical altercation about a week before the murder. He described a clear size difference between the two. Nipsey standing close to 6 feet 4 inches or 6 feet 5 inches, while Holder was estimated around 5 feet 5 inches or 5 feet 6 inches. That earlier confrontation, according to Cannon, may have added tension to what ultimately became a fatal encounter. According to Cannon, the earlier physical altercation between Nipsey and Eric Holder was rooted in allegations of cooperation with law enforcement, which created serious tension between them. Loose Cannon's claims suggest that Big U may have had prior knowledge of Nipsey's murder, indirectly implying involvement or awareness of a plan. These are heavy allegations. However, Big U has firmly denied any connection, even issuing a cease and desist letter to No Jumper in response to the claims. Adding complexity to the story, Cannon's twin brother, Jermaine Williams, publicly disputed his account. In a 2024 appearance on the Streets and Scholars podcast, Jermaine insisted that the alleged phone call from Big U never happened. He accused Cannon of fabricating significant portions of his narrative, including elements of his personal and professional life. Beyond Loose Cannon, others have echoed similar suspicions. SKG, a former Death Row Records artist, has been especially outspoken. In a March 2025 interview with TMZ, following Big U's arrest under RICO charges, SKG celebrated the news and repeated her belief that Big U played a role in Nipsey's death. She claimed that justice was finally moving forward and suggested that when the truth came out, the public would be shocked by Big U's alleged involvement in the tragedy. SKG alleged that Big U harbored jealousy toward Nipsey, and that both she and Nipsey shared troubling experiences with him. She recounted a disturbing claim of being lured to Nipsey's store, where Big U allegedly assaulted her while she was pregnant. According to SKG, Nipsey and his associate Fats were involved in setting her up for the encounter. She also described ongoing tension with Big U, including an incident where he allegedly disrupted a business meeting after learning she was redirecting funding from his community organization. SKG portrayed him as an intimidating and vindictive figure, accusing him of using fear tactics to control people in the neighborhood. However, these claims, much like those made by Loose Cannon, remain unverified. To date, Big U has not been formally connected to Nipsey's murder in any legal proceeding. Eric Holder remains the only person convicted in the case, and there is no official evidence linking Big U to the crime. These accusations have surfaced through public interviews, podcasts, and online platforms, not through courtroom testimony or law enforcement investigations. In a 2021 Drink Champs interview, Big U addressed the speculation directly. He denied any conflict with Nipsey, stating they had no issues. He cited their past communication and his role in promoting Nipsey's music as proof of their mutual respect. He also appeared in the Ain't No Rappin' video and supported Victory Lap on social media. Big U dismissed the conspiracy theories, questioning how such narratives could exist when Eric Holder had already been convicted and sentenced. The relationship between Big U and Nipsey Hussle was layered with both collaboration and conflict. Professionally, Big U signed Nipsey to UNE Music, co-managing his career alongside Steve Lobel. Through industry connections, Big U played a role in elevating Nipsey's All Money and brand from a local label to national visibility. When Nipsey secured his deal with Atlantic Records for Victory Lap, reports suggest he contacted Big U to join the project, signaling a continued professional reliance. However, their relationship wasn't without complications. In 2011, a major altercation reportedly took place near Crenshaw and Slauson involving Big U and Nipsey. According to community accounts, the dispute was tied to concerns about the environment in which Nipsey's daughter Imani was being raised. Her mother, Tanisha Foster, was rumored to have family ties to Big U through marriage. The confrontation escalated when Nipsey's brother, Black Sam, allegedly fired a warning shot, leading to a police response. 5 individuals, including Big U, Nipsey, and Black Sam, were taken into custody, though all were released the following day. Big U later described the incident as rooted in gang dynamics, not music or financial disputes, and labeled it a personal matter. By late 2016, signs of reconciliation emerged. Big U joined Nipsey's Victory Lap promotional tour as road manager, suggesting tensions had eased. Still, industry insiders have raised questions about the structure of Nipsey's earlier contracts, especially a reported 10-year deal under UNE Music involving a 50-50 management split with Steve Lobel. The long-term implications of that contract remain a topic of speculation. This situation shows how gang politics continue to shape lives and relationships, even as figures transition into the music industry and face legal challenges. As the case unfolds, several critical questions remain. Will the jail altercation impact Brick Baby and Loose Cannon's upcoming bail hearings? Their involvement in a violent jail incident could influence a judge's perception, potentially framing them as public safety risks. For Big U, who already faces serious RICO charges, this new incident may further damage his position. If prosecutors highlight continued gang-related activity behind bars, it could reinforce their claims of organized criminal behavior. As the court process advances, attention will turn to whether new evidence emerges around Nipsey Hussle's death. Despite major accusations from Loose Cannon and SKG, no legal connection has been confirmed. The question is, will that change? WAC 100's involvement adds another layer. With his known public conflicts and relationships with key individuals in the case, his role in shaping the ongoing public conversation could be significant as these proceedings gain attention. This jail fight symbolizes something larger: the merging of old gang rivalries with today's entertainment industry. These aren't just inmates, they're public figures, artists, and influencers. Their stories straddle two worlds, and the consequences reflect that. In an era where gang history and rap culture overlap more visibly than ever, these cases expose the deeper structures at play. The outcomes for Big U, Loose Cannon, and Brick Baby will not only define their futures, but may also influence how Nipsey Hussle's legacy is remembered, and how gang violence continues to be addressed in Los Angeles. If this breakdown brought new clarity, explore more deep dives on our channel. Hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next story.